Covered in bruises to match my attire, my dirty bare feet, decorated with shackles, came with matching bracelets. The sweat from standing for hours in the sun, mixed with the blood from cuts about my body, created the fragrance that preceded me. They dragged me in proudly and threw me before the king. A man stood with me before the king, with a scroll which, when unraveled, rolled past him towards the throne. The look of complete disgust filled his eyes as he glanced at me. He quickly cleared his throat and began to read in detail the list of accusations against me before the audience. With each accusation came flashbacks. There were moments of shamefulness, pride, desperation, arrogance, selfishness, and pleasure. The guilt began to swell within me. After reading the accusations aloud, all of which were true and verified by witnesses, it was time for the king's verdict. He sat on his throne, dressed in the finest of robes, feet delicately resting in spotless sandals, and a dazzling crown on his head. The accuser listed the penalty for each crime, each taking a different route but resulting in death. Death by X, the king said. Sweat rolled down my face. I was already aware of the penalties for my crimes. I thought surely if I were caught, I would be beheaded, the quickest way out. But death by X, the slow, painful road to death, could take hours if not days of torment. I began to tremble. I was already on my knees. I then bowed before the king. I could hardly speak as a lump filled my throat. I begged to be enslaved for life, beheaded, or drink poison even, anything but X. The accuser said, according to the decree, my crimes were worthy of this punishment. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I asked if there was another way. There is one way your crimes can be paid, the king said. My eyes lifted. According to the decree, someone can voluntarily take your place and the crime and punishment will transfer to them. The accuser snorted. Even though that's true, no one would ever take your place, scum. A wave of fresh tears flowed as I realized he was right. My loud cries echoed throughout the room. What did I think my crimes wouldn't catch up to me? What did I think I could escape? What did I despise those who tried to correct me? What did I listen to those who encouraged me in my ways? Why did I do it time and time again? If only I could go back. I'll do it, I heard a voice said. I paused for a moment. That's probably in my head, I thought. There's no one knowing what's at stake who would take my place. You? I heard the accuser said. I lifted my eyes and saw the prince arose. He took off his jewel-filled crown, his spotless robe, and carefully carved sandals, leaving them at the throne to the right of the king's. Very well, my son, the king said, arising, glassy-eyed, to give his son a hug. The room was still. Everyone stood in amazement at prince and king. They both looked at me and gave a gentle smile, and all I could see was the love in their eyes. Before words could even come from my mouth, the prince took my hand and lifted me upright, and the soldiers took my shackles and placed them on him. Tears would not stop filling my eyes as I stood there with my mouth slightly opened in awe. Why? The prince had everything he could ever want. He's done nothing wrong, so why? Furthermore, why is the king letting him? The king said loudly, as stated in the decree I have written, the punishment and crime have now been passed on to my son. The prince looked at me and said, don't let my sacrifice be in vain. You have been given a new life. Then, with a smile, he was led away. The king then said to me, you are free to go.